Hello, I'm Tyler Odenthal, and today's demo is School District Bot. School District Bot is designed to answer questions that students, parents, and teachers might have with this upcoming school year. It is built with QnA Maker for knowledge-based management, adaptive cards to submit support tickets, and Graph API to transfer data between Microsoft Teams and third-party systems. We will also be including tools for teachers, like the assignment sync function. This function will allow teachers to put assignments directly onto the student's Outlook calendar via Outlook Graph API. But before we get into the demo, you need to know a little bit about Microsoft Teams education version. So let's do that first. All right. So everyone knows this is Microsoft Teams. If you've opened up Microsoft Teams before, you have this sidebar, which is pretty normal to people. But with the Microsoft education version, your teams are now structured into these classes. So if you're a student, you have these classes. If you're a teacher, you also have these classes. And when you click on them, it opens up into your teams section. So now your team section are organized into these nice little classes. This is the traditional view of a team. What's kind of a little bit different about this is that you have an assignments tab and a grades tab and this class notebooks tab. Which teachers on Microsoft Education use these features quite a bit. So as you see, I'm inside of the programming class, inside of the assignments tab, and here's my assignments for programming. And then here's where the grades would be placed if they were graded. A big issue with Microsoft EDU at the moment is that all of these assignments currently do not get synced to your student calendar. So here's the calendar that if you're an employee that uses Microsoft Teams or a student, this is where you kind of keep yourself organized. But as you can see that I have assignments that are in my classes and they have specific due dates, but I don't really get to see that on my calendar at the moment. So that's what brings us to the bot. That's one portion of the bot, which is the assignment sync function, which I believe a lot of teachers would like to use. So now we've just entered inside of the bot. I already had it installed, so we didn't have to reinstall it. But if you were to install the bot, you can go to apps and then just click the school district bot and install it yourself. But since it's installed, it's actually just pinned right here. I can move it around, and I've typed welcome, and it that will trigger the welcome message. So this is what a student or teacher or parent's going to see anytime that they interact with the bot for the first time. This is the welcome message. It's going to get your name. It's going to say this nice little greeting, and then it's going to have some tabs. These buttons can essentially go to anywhere. They're currently linking to ChatMode's website for their calendar and parent resources, and then it takes you to the menu, and this is the main functionality of the bot where most of the use cases will be handled. You click these buttons and it will start the process of the specific use case that you're trying to solve. So I have a question, will bounce into the knowledge base use case, so I'm just going to do that. Let's see if it works. Cool, no problem. What's your question? So this feature is going to be mainly used for students, parents, or teachers that are asking common questions around the upcoming school year. So it might be related to COVID, it might be related to transportation, it might be related to distance learning. It can be all assortment of things. But this is essentially how they would get an answer for that. So let's just try one of them. It's the QnA knowledge base is loaded with, I think, 5 different COVID websites at the moment. The one that's ranked most important is the CDC. So we're just going to take one of those CDC questions about COVID and ask it right here and see if it works. And it does, because it's a 100% similarity match to one that it's already in the knowledge base. And then it addresses the question with the proper answer response. And then the end user can rate whether this question actually solved the problem or not. So since it's a pretty high match and it's probably directly answering this question, I'm going to say yes. Cool. And then that gets submitted on the back end to the support team, so they know which Q&A pairings are being used the most, and that data is all being collected. So let's just do it again, try it with a different question. like my child's bus is late. What do I do? Cool. So you can see that this one isn't even a direct match. It's like 70%, 71% similarity. So maybe this does need actually solve the direct question that this user's trying to ask, which is great, because then we can show the support ticket functionality of this. So since it wasn't a direct match, we're going to rate that as a no. It's going to be notify the support team on the back end that, hey, this pairing isn't 100% match. It's also going to use adaptive learning or active learning that QnA Maker calls it to essentially try to restructure this question to better answer it in the future. So that's nice. But since this didn't solve the question, we're going to submit a support ticket. So this leads us into the second feature, main feature of the bot, or main use case, which is support ticket functionality. So this is where your bot can interact with the support desk. So I clicked submit a support ticket. I can also just ask the bot in a conversational way, hey, I need to submit a support ticket. And what it does is it'll bring up this adaptive card, which is just a form that your end user can fill out. And then when that's done, let's say that I provide an email, chatmodebots.com, and I have a security question related to my account. So can you reset my password? So why this is super useful to essentially any company is that now you have a way to engage with your end user via support ticket manner. So you can know what their problem is, submit that ticket, and that will hopefully be addressed in the future. So you get a little confirmation that it was sent to the back end. Here's the agent ID that will address your problem, and here's what ticket position you're in. And then it says we've received your ticket on Freshdesk, and someone should respond to you within an hour. It doesn't have to go to Freshdesk. It can go to an email. It can go to wherever you really want. But this is just an example of how a support ticket system would work. Essentially, any questions that FAQ Manager doesn't manage right away can be escalated to a support ticket where they can submit it to your team and have a personal response rather than an automated response, which is great. And then to the real meat and bones of the Graph API section, we're going to observe the calendar sync function, or the sync assignments function. So why this is important is because there's a lot of educators that are having the trouble of their students not knowing when their assignments are due, even though that it's, kind of clearly displayed here that things are due and things need to be completed. That's not always straightforward for students. So we're going to put it inside the bot and make sure that when they students or teachers sync their calendar, that it goes directly to their student's calendar. So what I did there was I logged in. It asked me for an email that I want to send all of these assignments to. And I just typed in Tyler at ChatModeBots. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a calendar event for all of the assignments that are in my classes. So essentially you can see right here that I logged in as my student account. It said, yeah, that's successful. This is all debugged, by the way, just so I can explain what's going on the back end. But yeah, I logged in. It said successful status code 200, and then it used my login to essentially get all my classes and all my assignments. And that's all that this is saying here, is that, yeah, I found assignment. There's assignment in algebra, and it's called test exam, and it's from these 2 times. It starts at this time, and it ends at this time, right? So it went in after I logged in, it used the Graph API to get all this stuff, and then it successfully synced 6 assignments to my calendar. And we should be able to view that right here. So why this is super nice is because students currently do not have access to this feature, and I believe that this will be insanely helpful for keeping students on track with their assignments. Because not being notified when your assignments are ending or when your assignments are starting is extremely detrimental to someone actually finishing that assignment or budgeting their time properly. So hopefully having this calendar sync function or sync assignments function, teachers can load up all their assignments for the year, click this button, send it out to a list of emails that they want, which can also be automatically generated. All of the team's emails can be gathered via the Graph API as well. Can automatically be sent out to their students, and their students will have these calendar events be populated onto their calendar, which it definitely should be doing that, but you know, Microsoft just hasn't gotten around to it. So we've decided to do that in our bot, and hopefully people find this useful. So thanks for the little demo. Hopefully you guys found it entertaining, and thank you. Bye-bye. Until next time.